Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and I decided to spotlight not one, not two, but three clicker games that are available for free or free to play on Steam. And I've been doing an in-depth uh, investigation, as it were, of these games. It would be real easy in a clicker game to start at the very first level and play it for 5 minutes and do a video of that and say, well, that's what this game is, and be absolutely completely wrong. Right now, I am not doing anything, and I'm not going to do anything for a while. Uh, right, what you can see is you have your welcome back screen. Almost every clicker game will do this. Uh, so the game plays itself even when it's closed. While you were gone in this game, I earned 7.38 E. Now, E isn't actually a mathematical symbol for anything. It's not thousands or millions or billions or quadrillions or trillions. It's uh, for each game, usually it's something either above trillions or quadrillions. Uh, because it gets really complicated and not that many people know what comes after quadrillion. So instead, they start putting A, or they'll put AA, and then they'll go B or BB. One of them even goes A lowercase, then A uppercase, which is really silly. Uh, and then there's been an update. Uh, some of the stuff. Don't have to really care about the updates, but it is important on a clicker game that their community is somewhat active and updating it, because these are definitely games you want to play for about 5 minutes a session, and you may do several 5 minute sessions in a day, but you don't want to spend much more time than that. These are games for people who are very busy but want to still be progressing in the story. Speaking of progressing, as we close this screen, the summary screen, you will probably notice that I'm not progressing here. I'm at level 150, uh, and I'm running out of time, which is this blue bar. The life is the red bar, and I'm not clicking to do any damage. I could click it. This clicker game in particular is a little weird because it's a gun that is your mouse. Usually they don't put a gun or anything on there. Uh, so I'm getting some critical hits, and when I get a critical hit, the gun turns red, and it does some massive amounts of damage. If I sat here and tried this, I might work its way down. Every time the time runs out and it's not defeated, though, it just starts over again. Uh, Now, to do damage with my click, more damage, you can upgrade your firepower. There would have been a button here that said upgrade, but I've clicked it all the way and up, gotten up to level 125. When I got it to 10, I doubled the damage, doubled it again at 25, doubled it again at 50, doubled it again at 75, tripled it at 100, and tripled it at 125. So that's compounded all the way up to the maximum right now that I can get for each click, which is 77.4 C, which isn't enough considering this guy's HP is 1.82 E. So that's uh, D is 1,000 C's and E is 1,000 D's. So I'm pretty underpowered. As I got more gold, which you're not seeing any of it get collected here, those little yellow dots are the gold. You get you save it up here. This on the outer ring doesn't, I think, mean anything. It's just an artistic style, which we'll get to in a moment. I spent some of the gold to upgrade this. I spent some of the gold to activate all of these uh, special abilities that have a cooldown. Automatic fire for 10 times a second for 30 seconds. Uh, Spread attack, it attacks 3 instead of just 1. So you aim for the middle and it hits the one on the left and the right. Double the team's damage per second for 30 seconds. Right now my damage per second for my team is 2.21D, and we'll talk about the team in a second. 1.1.5 times critical strike, that's when it goes red. 5 times critical strike, twice as much gold. Increase your team's damage per second 5% for the duration of this timeline. And timelines are really where this game gets its uh, name from. Time clicker is that this is a somewhat timed game. Right now the audio is muted too, so you could be sitting here listening to this. I can't adjust the volume. There's no real settings. Well, there are settings, but you can see there's no volume. Oh wait, there's. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't look because the mute was right on the main screen. I just assumed, and I guess that's my own fault for assuming. So there we go. We'll get the music going. This is important. When this comes up, click that to get a big bunch of gold. So next one is explosive shots, 3 times pistol damage for this, triples it. And then click pistol punches through multiple enemies. So if there's a block here and a block behind it, will go through it. And then cooldown reduces all the cooldowns for an hour. Everything except for this one has a cooldown of, I think, less than an hour. This one here is an hour exactly. That's an hour exactly. And everything else is 30 minutes or below, except for this one, which is 8 hours. So if you schedule it right, 3 times a day you would play this game and click that to get a 5% damage increase permanently for this timeline, and the timeline's about to change. As for your team, you started off with the ability to buy the pulse pistol here, which just automatically fires at a single block, so it's doing some damage even when you're not clicking. Otherwise, you would have to sit here and click it all yourself, and not only would that wear out your mouse, but it would definitely wear out your fingers. Full disclosure, I have arthritis, and a game like this is really not something I should ever try to play if I just had to actually sit here and click it. But fortunately, you can hire your team to shoot at the blocks for is something else. By the way, if you haven't realized, this is a bunny in the shape of blocks. There are several shapes that I'll get to and show. You have a flak cannon that shoots 3 random blocks per shot. So you see the yellow here is 3 random. Or it would be 3 random if it was not getting some bonuses because I've leveled it up. Notice this is at level 766. This one's at 701. This one's at 700. This one is at 700. And this one is at 698. Whereas this got maxed out at 125. I can't even level it up if I wanted to. So next thing is the spread rifle. Destroys 3 blocks until they're destroyed. That's what the red is here. And then your rocket launcher causes 25% splash damage to all surrounding rocks that I suppose get hit. Or maybe it's this green one here. And then the particle ball, every 5th shot is a critical burst that does 5 times the damage. So we have a big bunch of gold. And what you would do is you would want to promote it. These are at level training 1.2, 1.2, 1.2. That's odd because that's not what it said last time I loaded this game. They've updated it. These were at training level 2 or 3 before, and now they're at 1.2. They've made the game even longer so you can continue playing it. And that's what you want in a clicker game. You want to be able to just continuously play it. I am not hearing any music. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't turn the volume all the way down. That's weird. Okay. So you have the gold, and you can tell this is a clicker games are going to be simple games. They're not going to be super complicated. But there is actually a lot of level of complicatedness to this, if that was actually a word. It's just it's not going to be like The Witcher 3 or any game, which is another series I did. You spend your gold though. I keep trying to get to that point to level up. So you level up, it does some more damage. Now you can also spend your gold. That was a promotion when it was in red. The blue is to level up. Or, even though that says level up, they were calling this a promotion before. So, promote. And now we have another 5% on their DPS. Generally, when you have funds, it will cost more to upgrade the lowest thing than the last thing you bought, but that will do the most amount of damage. Notice that at level 700 this is doing 14D, where this one at 760 is doing 546C. So you're talking about 30 times less damage. So yes, I could get more levels upgrading this for less gold, but it's not going to do as much damage. So generally you'd want to do this, and then this, then this, then this. And Time Clickers has a nice stacking thing where you can buy the maximum, you can buy one, you can buy up until the upgrade, and up until the promotion. And the difference between an upgrade and a promotion is if it was just a blue level 800 will be an upgrade, but 1000 will be a promotion. So generally I keep it until upgrade and spend the last bit of our money. There's nothing more I can really spend. I'll continuously get little bits of gold and potentially be able to upgrade it, but this is the maximum we can do. So we're going to really start playing this game now. There is achievements that you get as you play it. There are statistics. There are artifacts that we're going to get into later. You collect these time cubes. I've collected 18 of them, and they can be converted into artifacts after you time warp, which I have never done. This is my first run through this, my first timeline, and what I'm going to do is start a second timeline and show you what the game is like at the beginning. As soon as this time runs out though, we're going to activate all with the spacebar. I don't know if the spacebar really helps anybody, and see if we can really beat this boss. Now that I have all the activations on, I don't have to click the mouse. I don't have to do anything but point my mouse in the right direction. It's defeated him quite easily. Now it's giving me maximum damage, which is all of the extra, what are these called? Extra abilities again. So I get to use them for another 30 seconds, which will help me get through a few of these. Now, my main problem with time clickers is I like this red and white artistic style, but they really didn't try very hard on your enemy style. You'll see in the other two clicker games that the main focus is what your enemies look like. Here it's just a bunch of voxels, is what these are called. When it's a 3D pixel, it's called a voxel. And they're in a pretty limited selection of shapes. So when you click activate all, it doesn't activate dimension shift, by the way. You have to click that one separately. But you can then click cooldown if you have it and bring back everything else, which means I can click it again and continue down this path. Notice in the background it's saying remaining one. You have to defeat on a regular level anything that doesn't end with a 0. You have to defeat 10 of these creatures. Would you call these creatures? I mean, they're just shapes. You have to defeat 10 shapes, and when you're not fighting a boss, there is no time limit. So you can leave the game, you could just sit here and let your team do all the work for you, which is what I'm gonna do now, because there's no reason not to. You can sit here and focus on clicking the upgrades, putting more of the gold that you just got into upgrading your team. And you notice the team got upgraded, so now it's firing a little bit faster. That's what each of these bars is it's loading and readying a shot. And you pretty much could just leave the game until you got back to 155, which is a mini boss, and then 160. You also don't get any time cubes until you get to level 100. So it will be a while before you actually get any time cubes and can actually make any progress really in this game. When you see these rainbow things, they get destroyed very easily and they give you a lot of gold. So take care of that, and you might, if you just wave your mouse over the gold, you'll collect it faster, but you don't have to. You can leave the gold to sit. Watch this yellow cube, or any yellow cube on the screen now. I won't move the mouse over them, and they will just magically go over there. And that's really what's cool about clicker games, is you really don't have to play the game at all. It's a game for people. Clicker games are games for people who don't particularly want to play that game, and still feel like it is accomplishing something, as long as you can trick yourself into believing the fact that the numbers keep going up and up in every single category means something. If you realize it doesn't mean anything and that the game is going to infinitely go up in numbers until it crashes your computer or the universe ends, whichever happens first, that you're fine. But as soon as you realize that there is no point to this, you're gonna probably be a little disillusioned. So for the first time ever, let's time warp. Now, I am tempted to sing "Let's Do the Time Warp Again," but I'll just say it and then move on. So, we are going to time warp, and it is a big deal. This is the Ascension. It's usually called Ascension in clicker games. You're basically going to start your game over again, but you get to take something with you, which is the time cubes, and they're going to improve our team's damage per second by 10% for each of them. I have 18. So 18, that's 180% increase at the very beginning. So let's click it and go yes. We are back to level 1. This is what the game looks like at the very beginning. There's one red cube and nothing is happening. I have no gold. I have nothing. So I'm doing no damage. I have not hired even the pulse pistol, so I can't progress anything. I would sit here forever if I just closed the game, and if I opened it a year later, it wouldn't give me any gold or anything. But I do have these time cubes, and it says 2.8 damage per second. But I can trade them, spend some of them for these artifacts. Uh, so later on, you might say, I want to start on a further wave. Or I want to increase the number of time cubes that appear. Or increase the number of time cubes that are dropped, since you can only do 75 into this and 10 into this. So that's good. You could do 200 in this, so you could start at probably level 200. Now, I can't get up to this unless I, let's see, redo. Seems like it's an option. So if I clicked this, I can then make more appear. And since time cubes are the most important thing, uh, you probably want to focus on that. And I'd say you're best increasing that. Oh, the cost is going up though. So now I only have 2 left. But if I redo, I could redo it. You'll restart from wave 1. Okay. So I can start over. So you could focus on time cubes. That's probably what you want to do. But you could also focus on gold. 100 gold. Uh, or you could increase your active ability durations, but we don't have any abilities right now. You could increase your uh, team's damage per second. Uh, you could increase your damage when you click, or you can increase your gold. I think though your best bet is to do this, at least. Make those time cubes appear. And then take some gold. Start with 0 gold when you time warp. Now you start with 800 gold when you time warp. So that seems like a pretty good deal. And we still get 10 DPS for each of those. That's all of our time cubes, but we can start playing the game again. And we've gotten the artifacts in our second run. That's the only thing that's changed. Otherwise, this game is going to be the same. So you would start and you would click and you would get 1. And then that's 1 cube down, click, you've got killed it. That's another cube down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so you see why this is a clicker game. Now it's getting more complicated. There's more than 1 on the screen. It's making a pattern. It's working you up the level of where you would want to go. And now that we have this, at the beginning I'd stick to buy 1. Hire the pulse pistol. Now that the pulse pistol is around, we don't have to click anymore. We need to spend some gold to upgrade the click damage. Get to level 10 so that we double the damage, and so we might have an active ability. These are at rookie level. We'll want to promote them up, and if they were at training 1 point whatever before to be elite level. So it goes rookie and then amateur, and I'm not sure if it's actually amateur or what the name actually is. Now that we're at We need 25 more to level up our weapon one more time. I really don't hear that music. That is weird. Could be it's just so low. There we go. And so we're at level 10. As soon as we level up with 87, we'll double our click damage. Not that we really needed to double our click damage right now, but it gives us an active ability. We can get this first active ability at 250, and you're like, well, 250, that's going to take forever. You're right. So we need to speed up our team. Here's a mini boss for level 5. We can sit here. Mini bosses do have time limits, so you might want to actually sit in here and spend some time. The yellow bricks are more damage, or take more damage to do than uh, the white. Yeah, the white bricks are harder to kill than the red bricks, and the gold bricks are even harder. All of a sudden, it's gotten really fast now that I've hired that next one. And as it speeds up, you're starting to see how this game's going to go. It's going to start going really crazy. Click this to get a big amount of gold. Again, like I said, focusing on the one you can spend the most on is probably the best deal, because he's doing significantly more damage than this. Now we're getting about 100 each level of stuff. So how long would it take me now on this second run to hire the last two, the third one, the fourth one, and the fifth one? Probably a little bit of time. Let's see. See if we can increase that. The rocket launcher here is going to take 4,000, but we're already up to 1,000. And we're running into more and more of this. Remember, time cubes don't come till level 100, and it took me at least 2 days of playing the game off and on, coming back every few hours and checking it to get to level 100. I can buy this and use this to try and take out more of this. That way we make sure we win. There was really no danger of us losing there. And now I can hire this guy. And so I only need 23,000 more. That's very quickly, now that I've increased my my damage a little bit through the use of the time cubes. The game has improved on that. I would not particularly put a lot of funds ever in any clicker game in your main clicking. You want to do a little bit of it, because if it's the thing that's going to give you the edge to win against the boss, it has to actually do a realistic amount of damage. Right now it's doing 22 damage versus 77 for this guy. So it's laughable how low the amount of damage that's being done here for your clicker is. So you might want to spend some money on that. And eventually you'll get to the point where everything costs about the same, and in one character or creature or shape here that you defeat, it gives you just barely enough or not even enough to upgrade one thing. And at that point, that's usually when you should turn the game off and wait for a while so you can come back with a big bunch of gold. Try to improve it. You want to get your team overpowered. A lot of these shapes will be the same shapes, like you'll see the cat face a lot. But as you get up in levels, it will get rid of the red ones and make them white cubes, or get rid of the white cubes and make them gold cubes, making it more difficult and take more damage. And in general, the HP is just going to go up, so it's going to take more damage. Right now, it's taking only about 1. uh, one hit to defeat each cube, maybe two. Now we're starting to see some gold cubes in the mix. Uh, we're at 12,000.4. And this is pretty much what clicker games are. There's not a lot more to it. I like the artistic style. I like the fact that the background changes pretty frequently. But I frankly hate that the things we're shooting, the things that we're cooking on, actually are just these shapes. It's boring. It's a dull thing in my mind to look at. You'll see in the other two clicker games, it's much that they have much more interesting things to look at. What is this back here? Oh, it's showing the time. Well, I don't know if we're gonna win this one. We're up the boss 15 and we lost. So you can see that there's definitely, you're gonna have to baby the game a lot at the beginning, but after you've got it pretty well set, you don't have to do this. And you can see, even with the active ability, my clicker here is not doing enough damage because it's only doing 22. And it just barely lost. This clicker game in particular is a little unique because you actually have to click on the right cube. Every other clicker game that I'm covering, I'm going to cover the other two, are more traditional clickers where you can just click anywhere on the screen. If you were clicking here, you would be doing damage. If you're clicking here, here. This one actually uses targeting, so they've put a level of skill in this gameplay, which is kind of unwelcome in a clicker. Here we go. Now we can hire the particle ball back up. It really kind of is, because that's just not what you want. Here we go. We will upgrade this and level it up, and upgrade this and level it up, and just upgrade this and level it up. And all of a sudden we're doing massive amounts of damage again once I started spending my gold on actual things. Overall, I would say of the three clicker games, this is the worst. But if people wanted a little bit more targeting, if they wanted a little bit of strategy in their clicker game, this is the only one you're going to get on Steam that I've seen so far that actually allows that. Everything else is a traditional clicker where it really doesn't matter what you do. The only time that matters is how fast you're actually clicking somewhere on the screen. Might affect the outcome a little bit, but almost all of it is completely automated, as you can see here. This is totally automated. I will be probably back to level 100 by the time I wake up in the morning. So about 12 hours, I would say. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. I might do a little bit more babying on this, but that's really all there is to this. You're going to get up to 100, you're going to get more time cubes, you're going to go as far as you can past 100 to get more time cubes, and then once you feel like you're really not progressing very fast, and a day goes by and you really haven't done anything except for maybe get one or two levels, that's the point where you should start up and start a new timeline, which we can't do right now because we have to unlock all the active abilities and get to level 100 probably. Artifacts, we covered statistics, all kinds of statistics here if you want to see even more numbers, and achievements, which all the achievements are just going to come in time. This interface, too, is very much a mess. Unquestionably, that this is the worst interface I've seen of the 3-clicker games, uh, because the other 2 clickers just have everything in a nice row on on the left side, and that's it. This has your team on the left side, yourself on the right side, a gold counter that's doing all kinds of uh, extra animation for over here. It does have this nice stack button, but that's about all I can say it has nice. The time cubes is a unique concept, but it's not integrated like in the other 2-clicker games. Ascensions are just integrated directly into what this bar, uh, and then you have achievements and statistics and artifacts and settings, and then you have live board and full screen and mute audio and save. And I've never had to uh, save directly because Steam handles all of that for me, so I don't have to worry about that. Anyways, so this is time clickers. You would play this at the beginning until you ran out of time or didn't want to play anymore. You'd close the program. You'd come back. You'd have a big bunch of gold to spend on upgrades. You'd play for about 5 minutes and you'd play again. Clicker games are a very unique concept, and that's why I want to cover them. And I feel by playing these games for about a week before covering them, you really get the inside parts, because it's hard to see what the game is going to turn into at the beginning. It it doesn't make that obvious at all. Uh, so that's gonna be it for this episode. The spotlight, not episode. I'm not gonna do a series on clicker games. That'd be silly. But I will probably play at least one of these clicker games later on, if not all 3. They don't take a lot of time. Uh, I end all my spotlights the same way. I ask you to click on my name, Rydo, and that'll take you to my main YouTube page. From there, there's a subscribe button. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. It'd be really helpful if you clicked that and made a donation. And on the top in the middle somewhere is a tab for playlists. And I'd ask you to check out all the playlists I have. I have a bunch of series I've done, lots of games. There's a spotlights playlist if you just want to see some other spotlights of other games, too. And then help me out about this video. Please like it. Please share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel if you can. I already asked that, but I'll ask it again. Comment on this video if you want. If I missed something on this, it's very possible at level 1000 something completely new happens and I just haven't seen it. And watch every second of my videos, because that helps me with YouTube. It tells YouTube that the videos are worth watching. Also, if you want to friend or follow me on social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Tumblr, or friend me on Steam or Battle.net, I have a bunch of links down in the description to those, and it would be helpful if you did that, and it'd be very much appreciated also. And that's pretty much it. This is a clicker game. Oddly enough, clicker games often require no clicking whatsoever. I've done this whole wrap-up and not clicked the mouse at all. Anywho, thank you for watching. Have a good evening.